Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Nagotera Odyssey. Welcome. Today we're going to be doing a 4-pick-a-card read. We're going to use the goddess cards because they're so beautiful. And this is going to be your soulmate. What do they find attractive in you? What's attracting them about you? Your vibration, your frequency. What are you putting out there that is drawing them to you? So I put a pair of earrings and stones with each card as well, so you could choose from that. So number 1 is the goddess of water, Mama Kocha, and we have little moon drop earrings, and I wore that one of my live reads and you guys really liked those. Number 2 is Maya, and she is the goddess of illusion, and she has beautiful feathers right by her. I like those gold feathers with the little blue tips. They're really pretty, and I got these blown glass green stones, and they look really gorgeous as well. And then we have Mama Killa, which Ian thought was a funny goddess name, and we have, these are real jade, and I love these. I made lots of these at work, and I used to wear them, and people would go crazy for them. They're very elegant and simple, and then they just have little gold accoutrements. And then number 4 is Metis, the goddess of wisdom, and then I use blue agates, and these are real, and they're very beautiful. Like the blue, it looks like little ripples in the ocean, so really gorgeous. So you can choose your goddess. And if numbers are important to you as well, the first one is 33, the second one is 34, the third one is 32, and the fourth one is 35. So I'll let you make your choice, and then I will begin again. So it's all these little nuances, and sometimes in our vibration and what we're doing, usually when we're at our happiest and we're living the most well, right? And just sort of like our authentic selves, we're being real, we're doing our best, we're really trying to stay in a higher frequency, and things like that is when we really pep up and speed up that time frame for our soulmates to arrive, okay? And I'm intentionally going to talk nice and slowly to you, because I've noticed when I've watched other readers and they speak really rapid fire, it almost brings up my blood pressure. So I'm intentionally going to keep my cadence really slow, because it should be a relaxing experience when I'm receiving these messages and when you're getting them, right? Just because I'm hearing them quickly from my guides doesn't mean I can't alter my speech to be mellow, because it's the weekend and we're trying to chill out here. Okay, so let's begin with Mama Kocha. So she is the goddess of water. So the world we inhabit began from the oceanic waters of life and the waters that surrounded us in the womb, both of which are the domain of the Incan goddess Mama Kocha. We are most attuned to the qualities of water, as the element of water symbolically represents our emotions. They move us to make and perceive the world as we know it. The beauty in the truth is found by observing water in all her properties and forms. Water is fluid and passes through cracks and flaws in the ground without stress, moving around obstacles patiently and wearing away the most jagged rocks until they are smooth and gleaming. Water ebbs and flows and comes and goes in powerful rhythmic motion of the seas and oceans, and they reveal their promise of release and return. So, water turns to hard ice and blankets the world in a protective shell, even the soft snow, allowing dormancy of life to herald a time of dreaming. Then the ice melts and the cycles begin. So unlimited potential is revealed when this goddess comes to visit. Ooh, I love that. Yeah, I always feel like, as we know, water can be so serene and peaceful, right? So I'm hearing right away that one of the personality traits that you exhibit that will be very appealing to your soulmate is your flexibility, your fluidity of being able to go from one place to another, one event, one social group to another, and you just sort of are nurturing and caring. And they might perhaps be a water sign as well. I'm hearing that could be part of this as well. But you definitely have a lovely sort of ease about you, where water just flows and you don't get jammed up. You don't overcomplicate things, because you're coming to an understanding right now with Source and your guides that When we slow down is when we're in our power. Honest to goodness. When we can sit back and observe and take in the greater picture from a higher perspective, that is truly when we are in our power and we can stand firm. We've seen those rush people outright in traffic trying to multitask. They look clumsy and frayed at the edges because they're trying to do too much. So this is about focused intention and energy. And the more you're focused, I feel like the more sort of beautiful karmic energy starts to surround you, and your love vibration goes up, and you start to attract your soulmate even faster. Because when we're really busy and hectic, a lot of times we have monkey mind and all kinds of thoughts pop into our head. We're not governing our thoughts at that point. Our thoughts are governing us. So we need to take control. And I feel like you're very good at that. You can systematically put your ducks in a row when your head starts to go haywire. And that's very attractive to a lot of people, because there are a lot of zany fruitcakes out there that just, you've been in conversations with them, right? They start in the middle of their life and they'll just, they ping pong all over. You can't follow what they're talking about because they don't have a train of thinking. They're simply just misaligned, but you really got this together. So let's see what else. Let me pull a tarot card for some energy. Oh, nice. Oh my gosh. Very beautiful. So you have the high priestess energy. So she represents the spiritual side of humanity. And, you know, I feel like you're on the threshold of a path of initiation. You understand psychic abilities, psychic visions, you have spiritual wisdom, you're into mysticism, and that's very attractive to a lot of people, because a lot of people are afraid to approach and broach that subject of, you know, fifth dimensions, all these other things. A lot of people have secret beliefs about things and have a very wide scale kind of spirituality, but they don't feel comfortable discussing this with a lot of people. However, your soulmate will feel very comfortable with you because you're very non-judgmental, and that's super, super helpful. And I feel like quite a few of you probably do have psychic abilities as well. You're probably clairaudient, you're probably clairsentient, definitely empaths. A lot of you are also, I feel like, tarot readers, and you're really super high on the emotional intelligence scale as well. You know, you're really together. You understand that life is like a beautiful mystery, and you're out there trying to solve it as well, which is really cool. So let's hear our other message. It's funny, we set everything up and I was like, I want the altar look very beautiful, and I'm like, kick the cats out. It was such a crazy morning, but I'm like, I want to do a nice read for everybody. So let's see what your other message is and what else attracts you. Flying, number 20. You have the power to see things from a higher perspective. Again, this reiterates what I was saying earlier, that you really do have a nice conception of the world at large and energy and how it works, and you are above the fray. And that's part of your particular attraction, is that, you know, you're not pecking down there in the dirt with the turkeys. You're not into squabbling and small-minded things. You just aren't. If you were a bird, like flying high in the air, what would you see? You would soar above life's challenges and opportunities and get a new perspective. It would be available. So just, you have the ability to reach for the stars and find one with your name on it. You just need to spread your wings and soar. The angels are waiting for you, and they really are. And people can see this, that you have that special quality about you, that you're warm and caring, but you also have a really, really unique perspective of things it makes people feel very comfortable around you, because they don't feel judged, and they feel special as well, which is really sweet. So I love that energy for you, and your soulmate is as well. So love and light to this group. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to press like and subscribe, and the notification bell as well. That'll let you know when all the new videos come up. And also my if you hit the little gray arrow, all my links are down below there. You can see everything. My Etsy store, I'll post all these earrings. I just made these last night on a spree, so I'll post those in my store. The crowns, all the fun stuff is in there. If you would like to come over to the Patreon page and see what's going on, I do daily goddess readings over there, and it helps support the channel. If you want to join a tier, you can do anything from $1 to whatever you want. And yeah, it definitely helps support the channel, and it's a fun little tribe over there as well. And also, if you have if you need an instant answer, I'm on Instantgo as well. And if, like, people were on there this morning like wildfire. Yeah, if you want to ask about how somebody felt about a date last night, or if you're going for a job interview and you want some quick results, just go on there and I get back to you within 20 minutes. I have a little dinger that goes off for that, and I love doing that service, and it's a great group over there as well. So everything, also the link for the Goddess Provisions box is down below. Everything, just go check it out. It's like the cool salt cellar with all the fruit. All right, love and light to you guys. Thank you. Terrific, terrific energy. Oh, I like that. I like the High Priestess. Okay, so now we're on to Maya, the goddess of illusion, and the little gold feathers. When you look at the world, everything you see appears to be real, so it's easy to imagine your current conditions are influenced only by obvious actions and calculated movements. This is an illusion, as everything is intrinsically connected, though not visible to us due to limitations imposed on our perception by our five senses. The Hindu goddess of illusion, Maya, calls to you to trust the invisible world is responding to your deepest desires and intentions to make a better life for you and others. You're able to see through the curtain of illusions. Your clarity and intuition is heightened as your next steps are sure-footed. When the goddess Maya chooses to help you, trust everything you need arises into the world with ease. And that's part of your appeal to others as well. And your soulmate is you do sort of move through life with this beautiful ease. I always think of this bird that's just kind of taking its time and looking in the sky and checking out leaves, all that. And I feel like you have very excellent intuition, and you're not clouded by any kind of delusion. You live in your world of reality, yet you make it dreamy, nice, and beautiful. You know what I mean? I feel like you're somebody, I'm hearing messages, you decorate beautifully, you know how to beautify your home and the areas around you. I feel like you like things clean and organized and in its place, so you sort of, you can have a special area for each thing. You don't like things to overcrowd you, like you're very spacious. But I also feel that you're very sort of like dreamy, like you like things like Alice in Wonderland and the Golden Compass and all those kinds of films that show the potential of all the magic that's out there. And it's very attractive. Of course it is. So also, you understand that when you put your intentions out there, you really understand the law of attraction and manifestation. You understand that when you place a foot out into the universe and a thought, that if you make it a good one, that guess what? It just generates more and more goodwill and good intention and good self-dialogue. Like when you speak to yourself, you're realizing that you can transition from oh my God, the self looks terrible, my body's a mess, blah, 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 to I can fix this, I can change. Colors might be different today. You know what I mean? You use logic instead of attacking yourself like some people do. Some people, again, it's about slowing down, because when we go slow, we take it easy, we're in our power. We need to slow down. We don't need to barrel through everything. We're not trying to have some checklist like I did this the fastest. Who cares? When we do things fast, we can't do them well, because we can't be aware of everything that's around us, all the beauty, what people are saying, right? You ever have a whole conversation with somebody and you remember maybe one sentence of it because you're thinking of the next thing you're going to be doing? You're not like that any longer. You're learning to step into being calm and listening. And that's very attractive to people, because very few people really are paying close attention to others when they speak to them. So let's see what other messages are out there for you too. The field of dreams. It says, your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are always engaging in a vast field of pure potential. And that is part of your attraction factor too, is if somebody says something to you where somebody might just brush it off as some, normal, everyday, common occurrence, it's like you see the potential in things. Like if somebody says, oh, I just heard the funniest saying, I love this and that. You're like, you know what, that would be fantastic on like a bumper sticker or a t-shirt. That would be great. Or you see certain colors together and you're like, if I blended these would be fantastic as, a mural wall paint or whatever. You just start thinking artistically and placing things together. And that's very attractive. People that look for really cool potentials and optimistically plan ahead are very attractive, right? Because it means they're not flighty and out there all the time. This is the perfect time to harness the field of vast potential yet not realized in your life. Great abundance is yours if you're willing to do the work alongside the gentle gardener. Be clear about your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Concentrate on your best life, regardless of the temporary outer conditions imposed upon you by the greater world, which has its own story to tell. You have a basket full of seeds that are quite powerful. Your talents are divinely inspired, and you will indeed lead to a great harvest to be shared with others. That's another thing I'm hearing about this particular group as well. You're very generous. What you have is for others too. If somebody wanted to borrow something of yours, sure, you got this. If somebody wanted, needed brief loan, you got this. It's like you have an open heart chakra, and you realize that to just be trusting and be out there and experience things is great. And that says a lot about people, because some people will second guess other people's intentions, and that makes them think that you think they're untrustworthy when that happens, right? But you're like, sure, very open-hearted. That makes you super, super attractive to your soulmate and other people as well. So let's see what's going on for your tarot card. Nice. So your energy is with the Knight of Cups. Now, this is about a loving person who's kind, they're truthful, they're gallant, they're romantic. They're also very refined and well-mannered as well. So you have a true and passionate love for people when it comes up. And, you know, you sort of extend that loving energy, and it's very beautiful. But I feel like you have excellent manners, and you're quite polite. You really get 100% the potential in other people too. So if somebody's sort of like, oh, I have this idea, you really cheer them on, and you really make them feel special. And that's important, because the number one thing in all the studies and research shows what people want out of life is they really want to be heard, and they don't want to be invisible. You know what I mean? If somebody says something, you're like, oh, that's nice, and you walk away. How weird would you feel if somebody did that to you, right? But you are an excellent listener, and you really want to capture the magic that other people have and bring it to their attention and say, hey man, you're not just some freaking schmuck out there. You really have it together with this idea. Let's run with it. Tell me some more about it. You know what I mean? You really egg them on to get them to bring their own potential to the fore. That's huge. That's huge. You know what I mean? That's a huge magnet for people toward you, because you really do want others to do well. And it's a very beautiful energy to have. Wow, yeah. Beautiful. So I love that for you guys. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to press like and subscribe. Also, the notification bell, so you know when all the new videos come up. And then if you hit the little gray arrow, it'll bring you to all my links down below. It'll bring you to my Etsy store, where you can get all these earrings and hundreds of other things that I've handcrafted, the fun crowns, all that stuff, and all the rings that you always see me wearing. Everything's down there. Instantgo, if you need a quick answer, that's great. I mean, if you guys, I get a lot on Saturday, because people are like, well, Friday I had this date and this and that. So it's fun to sort of catch up and see how you vibed with somebody. So it's a really nice service. I love that. And all the other links, the Patreon page, if you care to come support the channel. We have fun stuff over there, and it's a great tribe. So thank you guys. So good energy for you. I love that. Very nice. Yeah, sometimes we just gotta step into that magic, right? And just do it and be out there. So now we're on to Mama Killa. And Ian thought this was so funny. So we got Mama Killa and the Jade, the moon goddess. So this is, Mama Killa is the Incan goddess of the moon. She presides over the power of cycles and seasons. The moon rules over night and sky, returning full 13 times in a year. The ancients marked time by the moon, so they knew when to plant, when to harvest, when to store food, and when to celebrate fertility. So right now you're invited to see what is familiar and to decide whether you need to improve on it or leave things as they are. The answer to your inquiry can be found in the timing of things and the cycle you're in. So you can apply the idea of like natural cycles to relationships, creative projects, personal growth, and more. Like, you know, obvious retrogrades coming up, Mercury in retrograde, and everybody thinks hide your children when that happens, because stuff does, like electronics go on the blinks, and people just like what you think you communicated clearly to somebody else, it sounds like Latin. It's very bizarre. It's a very bizarre time. So if you're honest with yourself, you're going to see there's no way to control these cycles. You can only use the creative energy that they offer to help you, okay? So if your relationship's unclear, yet it's brimming with potential, you might turn to the new moon energy that shows up in the spring cycle of life. And we have a new moon coming up, which is nice. So you need to allow the relationship to grow naturally and be clear in your intentions. So I'm hearing this too, and I'm continually telling people on my client list, listen, you just have to let things progress naturally. You don't need to label it. You don't need to be, where are we? Well, what's going to happen? Because when people feel pestered or badgered about time frames, it puts us like all these stamps all over it, and this urgency and everything. And people don't like to feel cornered in that regard. So just allow it to grow naturally. And that's someone that you're stepping into, and you're not going to feel clingy. You're going to feel very free. And that's very attractive to people around you and your soulmate, because you're working naturally with all your cycles, and you realize, heck, on this particular day, I might need to retreat a little bit and get a little rest, have some baths, and take it easy, and not maybe mix it up so much socially, because I need time to rest. And then when I'm at my strongest and I feel really communicative, then I can go go out and socialize and meet with friends, things like that, you're really going to start to understand your cycles and know your strengths. And that's going to be very, very attractive for sure. So let's see what your message is from the Enchanted map. So coming to life, beautiful. Something beautiful is being born in your life. When you look at your life, you can see how you've grown and evolved over time. Perhaps you've shed skins and identities and created new ones, or at the very least matured in your ideas about yourself and the world you inhabit. You know things take time, right? And the Spirit's timetable is rarely in sync with our own. And that's one of the biggest messages that I'm always trying to convey is don't worry about the whens, because Spirit has that. And when we show patience and gratitude, I swear that time frame moves up. While you're busy just being you and having a good time, it comes up. And that's part of your charm. And what solidifies the soulmate connection is you're going to be in a creative process doing your own things, and it really attracts that energy towards you. So this indicates a long-held dream is beginning to show signs of life. You must not try to coax it along or shape it according to your desires, because Spirit knows the best form for the manifestation of this dream. And yeah, I feel like a lot of you guys, you're chomping at the bit because you're excited. You want to start your own business, your online business. You might want to be doing some YouTubing, all different kinds of things, and getting out there. And it's exciting. But again, when you just begin the process, you do it right and you slow down and you're in your power. That's what makes you strong and connected and grounded, because you're being methodical and you're realizing that it's going to come about. You don't have to be impatient about it, because it's coming, and you get that. So let's see, we have the Page of Cups energy. Let's see what that is all about for you. I like that. Okay, so this is about a creative individual. That's you. You're an artist, musician, writer, muse. You're a lighthearted person. And I feel like the playfulness and the romanticness about you is very exciting for a new love. It's like puppy love, fun. You have a lot of happiness on offer, because when you feel loved and cherished, I feel like you excel at everything. You feel comfortable. You feel warm. I feel like your blood pressure goes down. I feel like you're ultra chill. And that makes you creative, and your new creative projects are going to spring to life. You're going to have a lot of fun, frivolity, and, like just going out and enjoying things in a really lighthearted attitude. And your lighthearted attitude is what really escalates and brings this love into you. And also it alleviates all those little distractions that can be painful, right? Like those walloping throwbacks into the past of, oh, well, what about so-and-so? What about when I did this? And how did that happen? You don't do that any longer. You don't get all wistful or whiny about the past or would've, should've, could've's, because you're happy and content where you are. And that contentedness definitely starts to usher in these big waves of love, good luck, and abundance along with your soulmate. Because again, it's like all our wishes and dreams are happening all around us when we're busy already being happy and involved and engaged with the world, right? So beautiful energy for you. So that is you guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and welcome back to all my other subscribers and viewers. You guys are so great. Thank you for your beautiful comments. I swear, sometimes I'll just read them as soon as I wake up, because they're so lovely and charming. They make my day, and I can't convey to you enough like how much it means the world to me. Like I read those things and I just can't even believe it. It's like sometimes my life seems surreal. I'll like wake up and I'll get all excited because I'll be posting stuff from Instagram, and then I'm like, how lovely this just group of beautiful spiritual amazing souls that are out there, and I really appreciate you guys. So that's you guys, and if you'd like, you can go to all my links down below, and that brings you to my Etsy store. If you'd like to contribute to the channel, you can go to my Patreon page, and everything is down there. And my Instantgo, like I had a lot of Instantgos this morning, because people the next day after like Friday dates are like, how do you think it went? I mean, if you want to know about the energy of something like that, or a job interview, it's great because I get back to you within 20 minutes. I have a special like little bell that goes off, and then I'm able to help you out in that regard. So that's you guys. Yeah, really look forward to this, lighthearted, engaging energy where you just feel like you're untouchable in terms of lower vibrational people that, if they come at you sideways, you're in your strength of knowing when your cycles are. So you're going to face the things that need facing at the time they need facing, because you're going to be at your strongest when you have to tackle some tougher issues. And I feel like, though I feel like a huge weight's going to be lifted financially also in this group. I was just hearing that. And feel free to watch any of the other ones. I meant to say that at the beginning. Feel free to watch all of them because there can be special messages in each one for you. I do pick a card because people like to have it individualized, but it's still for a collective. But because there's lots of messages that also can pertain to you, it's nice to sort of scoop those up as well. Okay, so now we're on to Metis, and she is the goddess of wisdom. So let's see what her empowerment message is for you. Experience woven together with knowledge creates a beautiful thing. It's called wisdom. Its parts are intertwined like a finely made rope that is so strong it can't be cut. Wisdom, once earned, becomes an essential part of you. Right now, the Greek goddess of wisdom, Metis, says you know exactly what to do in your current circumstances. The real question is, do you have the courage and commitment to make a wise choice? That means you're not trying to take a shortcut. You're not trying to whitewash something. You're not trying to oversimplify to someone. If something needs saying, you're going to communicate that. You know, you have the will there because when we impart wisdom in with logic and good communication, there should be no misunderstandings, right? It's that type of thing. So the Greek goddess says, you know what to do. So you're being invited to look within rather than without. Take the wisdom you already have and apply it to your question. Perhaps, however, you must instead draw forth the humility to find someone wiser to weigh in. So this means if you feel like there might be an insurmountable problem or you don't have the knowledge in that particular field, that we need to engage in that. Like quite often I'm not numeric in any way, but my son and Ian are very highly numeric. So sometimes it can just be, you know, knowing the formula of something, but I ask them. I mean, they'll ask me for certain advice in areas and then I ask them. So that's the thing in life. We don't know everything. How in the world can we know everything? We should be lifelong students. I employ a certain amount of hours a day and I research the hell out of stuff because if I'm going to be discussing it, I want the stats right. I want to know what's really going on. I want to convey true and interesting information. And yeah, that's about wisdom once we learn things and life lessons. I feel like I wasn't ready to do this in my 20s nor my 30s because I didn't have that life wisdom. I feel like a lot of women come into their power in their 40s, most definitely. You know, it's all through experience. And some people are just wise little souls when they're teenagers, right? You ever have a teenager say something to you and you're like, whoa, right? It's mind blowing. But I mean, we have to settle in our tea kettle, have life experience under our belt before we can really speak on it. And I feel like Metis is really lovely with this. So you're definitely entering a potent period of your life to share all that you are and what you have learned. So extraordinary things are possible when the goddess Metis reminds you of your wisdom and the need to express it. So that is a high potency level of attraction for you as well. I feel like you've garnered life wisdom. I felt like you've been through a lot. You've seen family that had addiction issues, abuse issues. You've worked some jobs you can't believe you had to work at, those backbreaking jobs. You did some paycheck to paycheck stuff and it drove you nuts. A lot of you are single mothers, I feel like, or divorcees, and you're like, you know what, I just do this. I understand that if everything was dreamy and came on a silver platter, how would we ever learn a lesson? And it's funny how a lot of people think, because I like things to have an elegance and a beautiful, you know, swathe of color in this and that. It's like, I've still lived so many lives in this one life, I swear, because I have like a crazy fun family, but they're all over the place and everybody was always getting up to stuff and they were so funny and it was like, yeah, it was like, you know, just crazy. And it's like, I just learned lessons from that. And like I said, having 4 older brothers, it was like, that's where I feel like I garnered a lot of my relationship understandings, because I'd really watch how they operated because it was interesting to me. So that's one of my main things that I do over on Instantgo is I do give excellent relationship advice, because from a very young age I observed and started to study it, because I couldn't understand that why people could be perfectly normal and have a lot of restraint, wisdom, and be together. When it came to a relationship, they'd be all insecure, and then all of a sudden they didn't think they were good enough for this other person. That seemed crazy to me, so I had to investigate, because it's so funny. Often on the flip side of that, the other person is thinking the exact same thing, and it's nothing will destroy a relationship faster than insecurities. And that's part of your wisdom right now. I feel like you're stepping into that and you're realizing, hell, confidence is the key, because nobody wants to have to act like they're babysitting us or placating us every second we're fine. You ever see that couple at the restaurant where the girl, like if the guy looks over at another girl for a second, she grabs his face and puts it back on her face? That's an insecure behavior, things like that. That doesn't fly. That means that you don't have the confidence in yourself. Jealousy is that some people think, oh, that just shows the passion. No, it doesn't. It shows insecurity, and it shows you don't trust the other person, nor do you trust your judgment. It's very flaky and weird. So the wisdom of this that's bringing these people to you is you're not at an insecure time in your life anymore. You're realizing what is meant for me is not going to pass me by, so I don't have to harp on it, and I don't have to act crazy. So this is what's going on for you right now too, listening. Let's see. I love that card. That is like the brightest green I've ever said. An open heart will hear the message. And I'm hearing this quite clear too, that you are an excellent listener. Your friends come to you, family members come to you because you really lend an open ear and you give good advice and you care. You know what I mean? You've experienced things and you're like, and everything doesn't have to be about you. You know, we all have that one family member where everything reflects back to them and everything's about them. They're very dramatic and all that. You're the opposite of that. So, one sec. When this card appears, you're being reminded that there is a time to speak and a time to be silent. Now is the occasion for listening. Pay attention not only to what is being spoken and being said at the moment, but for the deeper message. It's not always obvious. Listen with your heart, not just your ears, and you'll find clarity. Receiving the listening card is a fortunate sign and ensures a greater understanding of your circumstances. Absolutely. We sometimes jump to such crazy conclusions because we think we got this, we know this, or that somebody's coming from an old place of intention where perhaps they may have grown and learned their lesson. So this is about slowing it down, putting your foot on the gas and going, okay, I can if I really slow down, stop and listen, I'm going to see what's not only being said, but what's not being said. I'm going to read body language, all those things. So you're becoming a master at that. That's part of your wisdom. And people like that because you have these little skill sets that are very unique and fun. And I feel like you have a fun quirkiness too. Like, I don't know, I keep seeing like little tap dances or like air guitar. Like you have these funny little gestures and you do silly things and it's funny. And I feel like you do crazy things with your hair and like you're just entertaining and sweet and you're a breath of fresh air for people because you don't take yourself so seriously. You know those bores, right? Where, oh my God, it's like they just can't get over themselves and they are, yeah, it's like, I can't even think of like the type. It's sort of like, what's, you know, I can't, it's like Cumberbatch in, when he's in Sherlock Holmes and he just takes himself so seriously. He's hilarious, but when he's putting down everybody else because he thinks he's so elevated, those type of people can be exhausted. But look at this. Whoa, the Lover's card. So this is the quintessential expression of human love and affection. It represents the needs to desire and share the treasures of our hearts with one another. I gotta breathe for a sec. Okay, because I just got like 500 messages in one go and I almost choked. Other readers will understand this. When your line of communications with your spirit guides is like a highway and the messages come too fast, you almost are trying to get at what you're hearing so fast that you literally almost choke, and that's your body's way of saying slow down. So I had to have that. So this is all about, you know, symbolizing of attachments built from love, desire, compassion, and it's felt between individuals that are pursuing fulfillment together. I really love this because in a romance and a desire for love and relationship, a choice between the spiritual life and the domestic life, and mutual attraction, and expression of affection, and all that stuff is such a deep-rooted connection to one another because you do that journey together, right? You start to discover that, like, oh wow, you really like that, you really believe that, you really have that talent. And sometimes you start to mirror each other, and it's quite miraculous. Like Ian was doing this really cool thing this morning where I was giving advice and on my Instantgo, and I was doing it out loud, and he just heard something and he was like, oh, and then he like chimed in and I was like, wow, I didn't realize he had that deep a perspective on this type of thing. And it was really cute. So it's all ways of engaging with one another and cherishing one another. And that's part of your great appeal as well. When you're with somebody, you treat them like a king or queen and you really cherish them. You do sweet little gestures for them. You're not over, you know, you're not overly dependent on them. You're still an independent person. You have your own cool creative endeavors and the stuff that you like, so they don't feel like you rely on them for sources of entertainment, but they want you around. They'll want you around all the time because you are a source of love and warmth to them. I mean, you know those people that come in and they suck the air out of the room, or they are the opposite of a loving vibration. And you don't always know that until sometimes you tap into spirituality and the understanding of energetic exchanges between people. You just don't know what's going on. You just feel like all of a sudden you're tired. So you're going to start to identify. That's going to be part of your gift now too. You're going to identify, whoa, how come, that should have been like a cool dinner. Why do I feel like I haven't slept in a day? Then you're going to be like, aha, you're going to start to recognize, oh yeah, guess who I was with? Yeah, what were they actually saying? What words did I hear? Were they strongly on the negative side? You're going to be a big identifier of these triggers. And you're going to be able to vacate those premises where things don't abide in your house of higher vibration, for sure, which is beautiful. And March, like I said, is absolute magic time for us to recognize the paths we should be on that are going to lift us and elaborate our grand plan for love and everything else. Just drift into it beautifully. So wow, really phenomenal energy for this group. Beautiful. And feel free to go back and watch any of the other ones as well. I forgot to say at the beginning, lots of times I'll watch all 4 or 5 picker cards if I'm watching a reader, because there's always information to be garnered from each group. You know what I mean? There's always lovely flavors that sort of drift up and they make sense. So it's a good way to do that. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for checking out my videos. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to press like and subscribe if you like these videos, and then the notification bell will let you know when all the new videos are up as well. And then if you hit the little gray arrow, it'll bring you down to all my links down below. The Goddess Provisions box, check that out. It's really cool. And they actually I get a small percentage too when you buy from that link to help support the channel. And then I have my Instantgo. If you want, like, Saturday is crazy for that, because Friday night when people go on dates are like, well, Melanie, let me tell you about this and that. What do you think is going to happen? What was the energy like, this and that? So it's really fun. The weekends are crazy on that, and it's such a good time. And I love that tribe over there. They're a really beautiful group. And if you'd like to go and check out my Patreon page, we have artwork, we do goddess reads, we got all kinds of fun stuff depending on what tier you join. They are a beautiful community and soul sisters. Love them. And yeah, just everything's down there. So go check it out. And come join me on my Instagram page too. It's Sparkrist11. That's my link down below too. That's really fun. Like, I met the coolest community over there. A lot of them are viewers. They're beautiful people. They're really great. Cherry's on there. Stasia. Emma Hayes, she's another reader. Go check them out. Hops Tarot. He's remarkable. If you guys want a really spiritual, soulful guy that is just, he's genius. I love him. So go check these readers out. Cherry is fantastic. Cherry Enchantress, she's fantastic for Twin Flame. Just love read. She has a very loving vibration. She's tops. Go check these guys out. So love and light to all of you, and thanks again.